Hey guys, welcome to Expand to the Cloud podcast. We are back here. We actually got some new generation that just on the podcast. And I welcome Gianni, 23 years old, Brandon, 19, right, Brandon?
Yes, sir.
And Jared right here, also 19, and getting into real estate. And you know us, David to this day. The old guy. Yeah, that's what the old guy, right? 178 transactions, 65 million closed already. We are up to 30 million in closings. On top of that, we are looking to close more deals. Should be reaching 40 to 40 plus as our team. Now, I do want to talk really briefly, and I have a lot of questions, especially for the new generation. You know, Gianni has some experience with some other brokers. I know Brandon did. I know Jared just got into the real estate. So, let's quickly hear your story, guys. Why don't we start with Gianni first? What got you into real estate? What got you into what your experience with the past broker and how you really, and I think we met a couple of times in dissecting what eXp was and what made you transition over and how has been your experience. Same thing for Brandon, who has a little bit of experience. And Jared, you talk about your first experience too as well. Go ahead, guys. Let's get it going on.
All right. Thank you very much, Rami. So what originally had me get into real estate wasn't necessarily something that I thought about. There was just more or less a pain that I had. Prior to pursuing my license, I actually wanted to pursue graduate school to enhance a criminal justice career. Then from there, once I was in grad school, my plan was to find a job while I was in grad school, but then it just didn't take as fast as I thought it was going to take. So then, the best hope for me or the best chance that I had was to drop out of grad school and come back home and figure it out. While I was applying for jobs, I didn't necessarily know exactly what to do in the market, especially in New York. A college student that's coming fresh out of graduating is extremely competitive. And because of that, I decided that I wanted to pursue something in which I didn't have to wait for anybody to accept my application, because at the end of the day, I knew I was qualified for whatever I decide to pursue or become. So that's when I came within the idea of trying to figure out areas in certain industries in which I didn't have to wait for nobody to, thoroughly review my application or whatnot have you. So that's when I decided to, pursue my real estate. I looked more into it. I did take an accounting course in college, and I understood that real estate was uniquely different and, a different kind of industry compared to the rest that are out there. And basically that's when I just ultimately decide to pursue real estate, just for the desire of being able to live in my own terms, control my own destiny, and not having to get anyone's approval for pursuing any career.
So you went to the first real estate company.
Right.
You picked it. How did you pick it?
So the first real estate company that I picked, it was because of the fact that I was connected to a family friend. So based off of that, he was my main connection and introduction to real estate. And he kind of answered questions as per what I had specifically to the industry. So I'll kind of elaborate a little bit more on that. Within the brokerage that I was in, this family friend, it was like my understanding that he was actually, still making deals, still doing real estate. However, he had a very, well-established, well-advanced career, but he was a manager for a office manager for a brokerage versus actually making deals happen and, allowing transactions to occur. So he was kind of out of the game in that sense. And, the more I thought, the more I experienced. Yes, I was provided with really great training, but it was academically based. There wasn't necessarily any practicality in the training as per holding agents accountable. It was just like, okay, we're going to give you, a textbook this big, and you kind of just figure out from there, and what you do is what you do.
Awesome. And then I'll pick up back on you and what happened from that point on. You left the company and you joined eXp. What about you, Brandon? I'm going to go with you first because you had a little bit of experience. Your quick story on top of that, what your experience was with your last broker, and then we'll transition into what eXp has provided for you right now. Go ahead, Brandon.
All right. So what got me into real estate was really a story that one of my friends told us. Told me and Jared. He told me a story about his mom's manager who owns a bunch of lots, a bunch of buildings, a bunch of what else does he own?
Yeah, he just owns a bunch of investment properties.
Yeah, a bunch of investment properties, and really I had no idea what real estate was at the time. I had no idea you can make money off of real estate. And I had no idea that you could be free. You could live your best life while investing. So I found that out, and how can I make money off of this? So I looked into it. I got into wholesaling at first, which wasn't really a good idea because yes, I've built myself a little network, but I was cut off out of almost every deal. I wasn't making any leadway.
You weren't properly trained from the very beginning.
Yeah, I wasn't properly trained. So I bossed up. I got my license in 2 months, I'm guessing. And how I found my broker, it was actually through the super of my building. He put me on to the guy that actually rents for the apartments in my building. And so yeah, he introduced me to the guy, and it just was the worst experience of my life. the worst 6 months, let me tell you. I had not 1 ounce of training. I was just thrown in the sea with a bunch of sharks. I was just left to survive by myself. I was just being sent out to Queens just for a rental, and I'm pretty sure the people weren't even qualified. It was just a big waste of time.
It was a congratulations.
Huge problem that's a huge problem in our industry.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem in our industry. You know, making real estate sound like it's this fantasy and you can become a millionaire doing it, and then you get your license and the guy pats you on the back and says, "Go do it."
Yeah.
Huge problem in our industry.
It wasn't motivating at all.
And it doesn't talk about the work ethics and habits and all the efforts that you have to put into it. And I think that has to go a long way. Jared, what about you, man? I mean, and you got landed right into.
Yeah. So for me, the way I found eXp Realty was through I have a family friend who's a realtor. He introduced me to Rummy, and that's how I ended up getting started. But how I got into real estate is twofold. One, I've always been interested in investing. I mean, I've been reading like 10Ks, 10Qs, S1 since I was like 16. So I've always been interested in that. So I was in stocks. But stocks, I mean, if you're going to do it smart, you're not going to trade. You want to buy and hold, right? And you're not getting income every month. And then I realized that I also have to get into real estate and learn that game too, learn that market. So that's one. And second is because I also wanted to learn how to sell. I wanted to gain sales experience as quick as possible. I mean, you guys are experts. You guys have all the experience that we don't have. But the only asset that we have is that we have time, right? So we're starting way younger, so we're able to start way quicker, which is why I wanted to get in the game quick, man, and learn from the best.
And David, I think you and I could speak about this from the beginning, the things that we went through. Imagine having the leadership, the mentorship, like they would have right now. And I can tell you, I'm really hard on these guys. I'm not coming in and saying, hey, how you guys doing? Like, get up, let's go, let's make these calls. But we didn't have that. We didn't have, hey, we had the mentality, I guess. We had the drive. But imagine having somebody as accountability or somebody who's going to be there. We had to pay for that, right, David?
That's right. You know, and it's one of those things where I say all the time, you know, you can take the talent and the drive and the effort and the internal motivation that it takes to be good in this business. But and eventually, I believe somebody that's dedicated, that's motivated, that is just going to figure it out. Eventually, that was me. That was probably you, Rummy. Eventually, we're going to figure it out, right? But if we had somebody there with us, or we were at a brokerage that would collaborate and share and help and learn from agents all over the country, man, we could get there so much faster. You know, and then you've got people that could have all of that training and that collaboration. They have zero motivation. They have zero dedication. They're never going to be successful in this business. It absolutely takes both. And you know, man, God, I wish I had it. I wish I was 23, man. It was awesome.
Well, 23 with us around, and then because we had to pay for these coaches. We have to pay for these things that, or get a mastermind. I mean, you have to do these things. And I think that, let's talk about what was that transition for Gianni, for you first. You know, I know you and I went to a lot of interviews, and I actually sat down, and I think you made a lot of good points. Hey, no other broker took interest like you did, and the passion and so on and so forth. Great. You know, don't talk about me, but I want you to talk about mostly what your experience was going through that broker and now transitioning to find the right broker for yourself, and why you chose eXp.
So I think overall, I was with that broker for that's when I first started off my real estate career for like a good, I would say, 6 to 8 months. And then I kind of died down, just thinking that simply the industry wasn't for me. And, you know, that being the reason why, you know, if I can't make it work, then, you know, that's it. Like, I shouldn't necessarily be in real estate, finding something else, especially when, you know, this younger generation nowadays, you see people on average, you know, taking whatever jobs they can, you know, for that bi-weekly paycheck, and, you know, just, you know, living for, you know, Friday to go over to, you know, the downtown areas of wherever they live for the nearest happy hour. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, every now and then is okay to, you know, go in with the world and mingle and whatnot. But that just wasn't necessarily the life that I wanted for myself. So I did try the corporate world for a little bit. I took a break. I had a sales position with a company that does conferences, B2B conferences. Then once I was in that company, I realized that I still had a love for sales. And then from there, I was like, you know what? Like, I was crazy for ever wanting to leave real estate, because this is who I am. This is me. And this is my gift. All I have to do is get the direction in order to enhance it and profit. And reason why I actually chose eXp was because of the fact, you know, as you and David touched upon, you guys had to pay for coaches. And not every coach is a great coach, unfortunately, you know, just to kind of put it out there. And, you know, when I, you know, had the series of interviews, you know, with you, Rummy, I wanted to make sure that I was in a great foundation, not only within the brokerage, but, you know, within your team, and making sure that it was something that I saw myself long-term for the long haul. And I just felt that eXp just provided that foundation for me to just expand over time, from making, you know, no money to eventually, you know, in 3-4 years, you know, making 6-figure profits.
Yeah. And having that education in the back end. And
exactly,
what if Rummy and David is not there? It's eXp is going to provide us that resource. And that's really important too. And I think you and I touched on a lot of that stuff. Hey, listen, you know, you never know, but guess what? You have the mothership that David talks about that's there for you, that's going to make sure that you are accountable and you got the right resources, you got the right trainings, you got the right people too as well. Thank you for that. What about you, Brandon? I mean, I'm going to go jump to Jared first, because Jared brought in Brandon. So, Jared, what about you? What was your experience? I know we did a couple of interviews on getting on. What was one thing that you really caught up on that said, hey, man, this is it. This is something that I want to jump into and be part of?
It was just the what separates this office and this company from every other real estate like realtor that I've personally know. I mean, I know other people that have the mom and shop realtor business or whatever, but they don't really have the sales training that we had, you know. And also the expand, like, I can, if someone wants to move to Connecticut or California or wherever, I can send a referral and get a 25% referral fee off of, you know, so we have this huge database of people that you can, you know, the brokerage spans to all 50 states and everything. So that was really cool. And also just the sales experience. I mean, we have the morning huddles every morning, make sure that I'm up every morning and I'm grateful for something, right? I got to have something good. I got to make sure we handle objections. You know, we go over all the challenges we have. So we have a team that's always positive and always supports you. You know, and it's scary when you're young and you're going in this business. Everybody, you know, already has experience and everything. They all look professional, and you know, it can get overwhelming sometimes. But it's good to have that support system behind you. So.
And go ahead, Brendan. What about you? I mean, I know that Jared brought you in, and your experience right now, and how it has just been taken off for you too as well.
Well, switching companies was like a big sigh of relief, because let's say for like the last 2 months I was with my old company, I kept saying to myself, it's going to get better. I'm going to start learning more. I'm going to grow as a person. I'm going to become a better agent. But as the time came, I wasn't learning, I wasn't doing anything. So I had to leave, I had to choose what was best for me. So I left, and Jared was always talking about this guy, Rummy, my broker. He's this powerhouse. He will train you, help you, he'll motivate you, he'll let you do anything. You feel me? He'll help you grow as a person. And I was like, I wasn't too sure about it. I was like, let me go look for my own thing. I don't want to piggyback off of Jared. You feel me? So I don't know. I don't know what got into me. I just decided, you know what? I need to work. I want to work. I want to grow as a person. So I decided to text Jared. Jared, can you set up a thing with your broker? I set up a meeting with your broker. And then the last 2 weeks has been really hard for me, but I'm really glad I've been here. I've been getting the most help I've been getting for the past, I don't know how many years. I have a great supporting cast with me. I'm just really happy to be here. It's a team.
Yeah.
Listen, let me say something, guys. Listen. So back 100 years ago, when I was in high school, I wrestled, and our high school team was ranked 7th in the nation at one point. We won state. We broke all kinds of records. And every day in practice, I had a choice. There was 2 guys that were just at my weight and below, and then there was this other group that was just above me that literally were state champions, would kick my ass. I practiced with these 2 guys every day. I got my ass kicked every single day in practice. And what it did is it made me better. It made me better at the sport, and then it also made me better as a businessman in the end. And I've thanked those guys before. So what you guys are doing now is you're getting your ass kicked every day. You know, you're coming in, Rummy's there, you know, you're around all these big agents, you're getting your butt kicked, but I promise you, your future self wants you to get your butt kicked every day because you will be better for it. I guarantee it.
Yeah. And that's what I want to kind of touch up on. I mean, with eXp as a brand new agent, and most of them don't have that much sales under their belt, but I want to explain this to everyone that's out there. We don't leave any agents behind. If you're dedicated and you're motivated, right, you're going to have first a mentor if you don't have someone. You're going to have a mentor for the first 3 deals. So that's so vital. Right now, they're part of my team, and I'm their mentorship. David is their mentorship. We are all big, happy family, but we're all happy because we're all financially connected. Before, we didn't have this. We didn't have a concept where, you know, you will get the powerhouse from David. You will get the powerhouse from Rummy. You'll get the powerhouse from Keely. And your 7 mentors that we talk about that, hey, listen, we're going to help you. You could call all these 7 people without paying them a dime, without thinking about it, and say, hey, David, I need some information. I need this. I need that. So people who are listening out there and thinking about real estate, and you guys hearing this story, this is what this company has to provide. And on top of that, you know, we're going to make you uncomfortable, right? I am uncomfortable sometimes around David. When he gives me his numbers and I'm like, oh, I'm only at 30, 40. I'm like, okay, you know what? I got to get better. So that's the beauty about it, because you're going to start reaching out to people who are 10 times better. I think David and I went to the last convention. We had somebody who did 1,500 deals, David. And I was like, okay. And they're literally talking to us just like as our friends. And I became, I don't know about you, David, I became uncomfortable. I'm like, hey, what can I do? How can I become better? Uncomfortable, meaning that they're going to make you better. They said a couple of things to us, which is mostly systems. He has a system in place. I said, okay, I got to get better in my system. Again, I'm talking from an individual who did 1,500 sales to now we're talking to David, almost probably going to close around 200. And we're about 110 or 120. So, and you guys are just starting, so you're going to get uncomfortable. And that's the beauty about this company, especially in the organizations that's going to help you push forward, and the people who really care about you and also are getting compensated. And I like saying that because that's the reality. We all are good people, but it just makes it a little bit better when we get.
Listen, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. This is all there is to it. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. You know, and the thing too is yesterday, I spent almost 45 minutes on the phone yesterday with an agent from, God, I don't even know. I think it was Alabama. I have no idea where she is in Alabama. She has no financial connection to me. I posted something online. She was with eXp. She called me. I spent almost 45 minutes on the phone with her trying to help her grow her business. And I don't really, she's not in my eXp organization, but you know what? I'll spend time with her because I've also talked to people I'm not in their financial organization and they're helping me. Like this guy, we're talking about 1,500 homes. We're not all connected financially, but that's the nice thing about eXp is it's really one big family. Now you have your core, you have your, what I call your immediate family, right? But you got these cousins and uncles and aunts and all these other extended family throughout the country that is willing to help you in any way you can. And I have never seen that anywhere else I've been. And I've been in the business 20 some years at multiple brokerages.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Gianni, going back to you right now, your transition into eXp, what have your experience have been? What have you seen, and what do you see in the future?
Great. So when it comes to my experience currently with eXp, I think that the transition and the transformation aspect of it has to do a lot with self-development, self growth, and self-improvement, which especially when you're younger, you within our ages, I would say even between 20 and 30, and even so forth, you're always trying to develop yourself better. But, around this age range is crucial, like 20 to 30. Mindset wise, I've transitioned and I've become a better person within a matter of a couple of months. And in reality, I realized that, the foundation of my persona is my mindset. So then once I was able to work that out, and then I had, leaders like Rummy, leaders like David help me with that. Then from there, I'm able to apply industry necessities, sales essentials and stuff like that. And pretty much, long story short, it was that foundation and, the training that I'm getting, the accountability that, I have to present every single day, from my numbers of dials to my planner being full. Like that's something that which you're really not going to get. That's super important, as just overall as, a business owner in general.
Awesome.
Are you sure you're 23?
They're growing a little faster, David. I'm telling you right now.
Man, let's not talk about what I was doing at 23.
5 interviews. Like, okay, but again, it's about the passion, and we believed in the company. We believe in the company. I mean, now I'm in love with the company. It's like I'm in a relationship with this company. I'm in love. So we were there. We were going back and forth. So you talked about accountability. You talked about learning. You talked about growth. What about you, Jared, and yourself? What have you experienced right now, and what do you think is going to happen to the future for the company too, as well? Yeah, and you're in stocks, right?
Yeah, I think Gianni said it perfectly. The accountability, we had an accountability meeting last week, and it was basically just trying to see what you're not focused on, where you can grow in each aspect. It's all about like time management, the number of dials, making sure your calendar's full and everything. That's aspects of learning how to run a business. We're learning at a young age how a business is run and how to manage our time and everything, which is really important. So that's what I love about the team that we have.
Awesome. Brandon, what about you?
Well, the transition was really smooth, I guess. No, not I guess, but I know it's been really smooth. Gianni said it perfectly. Like Jared said, he took the words right out of my mouth. We're learning how to be responsible for our own mistakes. We're learning how to really just how to become a better person, how to evolve from our mistakes to become a better person, to become the best agent possible. And in the future, I see myself still being in eXp, honestly. I don't want to be in another company where I can't grow, I can't be myself. I see myself being a top agent here, honestly, not only in this office, but across the offices around the world. That's my goal.
Awesome. I mean, you guys hear from all three of them, right? I mean, and I wrote some notes down. It's really about accountability, help you grow, help you get trained, get the right resources, get the right website, and learn from the top agent, not just from David and I. I mean, we have every Friday mastermind groups from people doing 100, 200, 300. I know, David, you were a part of that too. You want to talk about that real quickly?
Yeah, so every Friday, eXp has this event called iConversation. So any agent throughout the country or the world now, because we're going to be in the UK and Australia, already in Canada, and they can log into their computer and go into our virtual auditorium and you're going to have 3 icon agents sitting up on stage, and we are literally open books. It's not a lecture. It's a conversation. You raise your hand, you turn your mic on your computer, you ask me a question, and I answer it, right? And you do that, and it's every Friday. We've got 3 icon agents up on the panel answering questions and telling you their story about how they got to become an icon agent. And you're not going to relate to every single one of them, right? Because there's a million ways to get business in this business. But, you know, that's the reason there's three every Friday. And I encourage all newer agents, even if you have it as background and you're doing something else and you've got 2 screens, one screen is iConversation and the other screen is whatever you're doing, which I always tell people, don't try to multitask. But at minimum, even if you're doing that, you're going to learn something and you're going to connect with one of those agents. And I guarantee you, and I know when I did it, I had about 15 agents. We had about 300 agents, 200 or 300 agents in the auditorium. And I gave out my cell phone number and my email address, and I had 15 agents reach out to me. And I didn't know any of them. But that's the reason the iConversation is there, is for teaching opportunities. And listen, I have iConversation on. Because listen, you may look at me as 200 deals is a lot. I look at other people as 1,000 deals is a lot. Yeah. So, you know, I've got it on.
Yep.
I just did a social media Facebook training just the other day. I had it in the background noise. The guy and he was talking about something, and my ears perked up, and I really started paying attention. And there was something you can do on these Facebook video ads that I had no idea you could do. And if I wouldn't have had that on, and if he wouldn't have been there teaching it to all eXp agents, I wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So last words, guys, and how does somebody reach you? How does somebody connect with you? Pick your brain, why you switch, why, eXp for you and them, and answer the questions. Gianni, you want to go first?
Okay, so the way you can reach me is my email, Gianni, GIANNI, CAST.RE@gmail.com. Also, my number, 914-230-0689. You can also find me on LinkedIn, very active, when it comes to LinkedIn as well. Follow me on Facebook as well. Invite me as a friend. Love to have more friends on Facebook and just kind of, post fun things and post my experiences and some sales jokes from time to time.
Awesome. What about you, Brandon? How somebody reached you?
You can reach me by my email, Brandon Henriquez. That's BrandonHenriquez, EXP@gmail.com. I know it's long, but my full name's there. I want to be known. You can reach me on Instagram, Henriquez Real Estate, HENRIQUEZ Real Estate. I'll make sure to follow back. Reach me on LinkedIn, Brandon Henriquez, my name, BrandonHenriquez. I'm looking forward to connecting and growing and expanding my future, expanding my company.
Awesome. What about you, Jared?
Yeah, you can reach me at my email, jared.dillalla@gmail.com. You can also add me on Facebook. It's my first and last name, Jared Di Lalla. You can also text me or shoot me or give me a call, 914-918-2200. If you guys have any questions, you guys want to have a chat, feel free to reach out.
Also, my number is 646-717-1206. I kind of forgot.
Yeah, there you go. So David, we got to start dropping on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all this other.
I literally just told my 16-year-old daughter yesterday, I said, how do you do? And I wanted to do something on Instagram. I'm like, how do you do? And she's like, what do you mean? I said, baby, I'm old. I do Facebook. I need to figure out this Instagram thing.
Yeah, they were like, what's Facebook when I first met them? I'm like, oh my God. Okay, reality.
It's coming. It's coming, man. Instagram and Snapchat. That's a new world, man.
So I know this is reaching out to other countries now, England and Australia too as well. We really want to encourage anybody who's listening out there, reach out to David. David, one more time, how does somebody, because we're old school, just call us on the cell phone. David, how somebody reaches you?
So it's 704-400-6336. And my email is easy. It's David@davidupchurch.com. David@davidupchurch.com. Or you can always text me.
Yeah, you guys can reach me directly at 914-438-8840. We would love to talk to you. Anyone outside the country just thinking about this and listening to this, we also have a website, expand to the cloud.com. You could get all the information. David and I are going to be putting up a little bits of information out there about EXP. Again, curiosity is going to help you just open up conversations, and then we take it from there. Guys, great conversation today. Have an amazing day. Take care. Peace out, guys.
So guys, take care, everyone.
Be advised that the topics and contents discussed in this podcast are opinions intended as general information based on personal accounts and experiences by the hosts Rummy Danoa, David Upchurch and their guests. We recommend that listeners seek professional advice or research before making a business decision. This podcast is produced separately and independently from eXp Realty and is not sponsored or funded by eXp Realty.